definitely seemed like it for the last 32 minutes. Team was playing a little bit looser, kind of not playing like they were scared to make a mistake. Is that kind of what you saw? Just the general
Mm.
body language was better.
Yeah, I don't think the first 8 minutes, Travis, we had maybe the pace that we would want um, on either side of the ball. I thought it was a little too slow. I didn't think our guys were playing with the pop that we want them to play with. But I agree with what you said. I think that there was more of a rhythm, more of a pace that we want to play at over the last 32 minutes. I agree.
With you talked about the last game that was a game that y'all needed to win, kind
Mm-hmm.
of grind it out and do the things right. Is it something to be said about having a game where it seemed like a lot of guys were having a lot of fun and things were kind of going your way?
I think this week has been really good for us. I know you know this because we've talked about it, but I think we're the only team in the league that are our last two non-conference games are coming in the last week of December, and so scheduled with the purpose in that Christmas Day was 2 day before, Monday was 1 day before, Tuesday game day, Wednesday 2 day before, Thursday 1 day before, Friday game day. So that 6 day work period, that's what's about to happen over the next 10 weeks, right? And so tomorrow is our first off day. We've worked 6 days in a row. That's the first time that that's happened all season long. That's because of the schedule. Um, and then, for instance, in the first 3 weeks in January, we'll be off on Sunday. Monday's 2 day before, Tuesday's 1 day before, Wednesday we play, Thursday 2 day before, Friday 1 day before, Saturday we play. And so there was there was a lot of good things that happened the last 30 minutes against Northwestern State. A lot of good things that happened the last 30 minutes tonight. But I also think that there was a lot of good things um, in our preparation, in the routine of skill work and shooting in the morning, what we're doing in the film room 2 days before, 1 day before, what we're doing in practice, what we're doing on shoot around. We even changed up our rhythm for pregame tonight. I thought it was really good. I thought the guys really liked it because they were all coming up to me during what the changes were. So I think I think we got a lot of good reps on what we're gonna need over the next 10 weeks.
Wade said Boots had a really good practice week this week. What was it
Yeah,
about
I think he's gaining traction. Um, I don't think in the first 10 games he had the consistency that we need him to have, but I don't think, and you know this, rarely ever do I call players by their names on bad things. It wasn't just Boots. We had several players that we count on that we need to be good that didn't have the consistency that we need in order for us to be good. And I think some of what we thought about as a staff during the break was is the consistency that we're not getting, how can we help them in that consistency? And I think a portion of that comes from the preparation. Guys, we're going to do this every practice 2 days before. We're going to do this every practice 1 day before. This is what we're going to do in the film room on those days. And I was a little slower on purpose as the week unfolded. This is what we're doing. This is when we're doing it, but this is why we're doing it. And let's use all of these reps in these different categories because that's what this is about to be. And so I think Boots is very linear in how he works and very linear in how he thinks. I actually think he's very linear in how he competes. I got to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do this. But I also think to some degree, most people are like that. Hey, this is my calendar, and this is how I operate. And if I do this over and over and over, there's a compound effect to I improve, but our team improves. And we're even doing that in practice relative to who's on this team for these reps. And almost like football, we scripted every single thing. You know how they have segments in football practice. Hey, segment 0 is indies and this and that. we scripted every single thing on who we wanted in every single rep, based on who we were planning on playing in the first half. This is what our rotation is going to be. I wrote it down. I gave it to Devin. Devin, this is when I want these guys subbed in. And so I think some of the rigidness of that consistency helped our guys as the week unfolded.
Just generally speaking, what was it about the pregame that y'all changed up?
When guys get taped, who gets taped, when guys stretch, who stretches, when guys are on the court, and when they're on the court, and kind of made it more effective, more efficient, so that there were more reps being given. Instead of just kind of, probably bad words to use, instead of just moving like a herd of cattle and we're all going to the same trough to eat. No, it's your turn over here, it's your turn over here, it's your turn over here. And our guys realized that it was seamless and they were getting more reps because they were telling me as it was unfolding. Because I told them today after shoot around, everything was scripted, everything was planned out. And then after we prayed at the end of shoot around, guys, this is how we're going to do pregame. Here's your groups. It's going to be on the wall. I'm going to text it to you. Here's what we're going to do. So everyone in the program needs to have that consistency. Like Corey just asked me, when are you working tomorrow? Like, what do you have to do tomorrow? What do you have to do on Sunday? Just because there's not much margin over the next 10 weeks, as you know, right?
Is it's kind of a oxymoron or
Paradox.
But is it that the rigidity kind of creates some looseness when they get on the floor?
Well, I think they know that this is what we're trying to do, and everything we've done has led to this is what we're trying to do, and this is when you have to do it. And if you can't do it, then you're probably not going to be rewarded. But if you can do it, that's what we've been practicing. And so I think it's helped everybody, in truth. I don't think it's just helped the heavy minute guys. I think it's helped everybody. And over the last, whatever it was, 15 minutes, we didn't continue to follow the script relative to time, score, and momentum. But now, because of the rigidness, if that's the appropriate word, now JB gets to play. Now EP gets to play. Okay, well, we need those reps. They need those reps. And so now it benefits everybody. And I think we have to hold to that regardless of the scoreboard, because it's not just like I was explaining to him yesterday. All success is a lagging indicator, right? You see the success on the scoreboard. Well, it's just a lagging indicator of what happened prior to the game. And so we have to continue to make deposits into the figurative bank. This is what's required, not because we're playing Prairie View, not because we're playing Florida, but the consistency of that individual and that team doing the same thing. Where is that going to put us in February? Where is that going to put us in March? So you're not doing it just for now. It's a lagging indicator. You're doing it for over the next 100 days.
Just how prepared do you feel for conference play?
I'll feel better by the next time that I talk to you. I was telling Rock this today. He said, I think he was telling me today after shoot around, because, the assistants are always working ahead of me relative to the opponent. And he wasn't talking about Florida, but he said something about the league. And I was like, Coach, I honestly don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense. But like Wednesday night, I go home at whatever time, and Corey's telling me this game's on. Do you want to watch this game or that game? And I was like, I didn't even know they were playing. Just because you stay so grounded into whatever it is that's going on. So I'll process this game over the next 90 or 100 minutes and try to close it down, and then I'll start working a little bit tomorrow morning, maybe generally getting a feel for the league, but then by tomorrow afternoon start studying specific to Florida. Because when you're in it, I don't know. What do you think about the league?
Well, what do you hope your team took away from non-conference play then? What do you hope they learned from it?
I think there were a lot of lessons. And I think we've evolved. I think we've morphed into something. I think we've made changes on the floor to try to help the personnel we have. I think we have a better idea of how to utilize the personnel. But I think there's also been a lot of lessons for us to learn that not only do we understand them consciously, but I'm hoping that we understand them subconsciously, because we don't have possessions or minutes to give away. We can't play 32 minutes at Florida and think that that'll be good enough. And so I would say that would be one of the bigger lessons we've learned.
Coach, you got 13 guys in the game tonight. What does that
We did.
What does that do for a team, and then each guy on an individual level to see they got some minutes?
The one thing I would say about the guys that typically play the most minutes, they were really happy for the guys that don't get to play minutes. And that speaks to the character of our guys, fives. Yeah, we played 10 minutes. We played 10 guys double-figure minutes if Hayden would have played 9 more seconds. So, yeah, I think that's good. And I think anytime those guys that don't get to play have an opportunity to play, they're at practice every day, they're at every skill session, they're at every weight session, they're at every film session. So I'm glad that was JB was pretty effective in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. That's pretty good.
You shoot, I think season high in field goals, free throw percentage, and shooting at season high in 3-point for those last two. How much of that do you feel like is focusing on y'all and what y'all were doing? How much of it is competition? What do you think that?
Yeah, I think some of it, Travis, is the consistency and the percentage of the pie that we're just spending on ourselves. Like I told the guys Christmas night after practice, I said, guys, we're going to do skill and shooting with buzz. Half of you are going to do skill 2 days before, and the other half are going to do shooting with buzz. And then 1 day before, we're flipping. And when you're in skill and you're in shooting, the other 6 of you, you're in the weight room. And then we're flipping. So each kid had 2 shooting with buzz sessions this week. Each kid had 2 skill sessions this week. And, I think when you get to this point in your career, particularly in the last 4 semesters of your college career, when you can continue to spend 30 minutes every day just on your game, I think Q's a perfect example of the compound effect of where that gets you towards the end of your career. And I think some of that is what has happened with Boots. Boots, we got to do this every day now. You got skill with Devin or Lyle every other day, and the days you're not with them, you're with me. Because they know the plays. We need their games to continue to improve as we add plays, and that makes the plays even more effective.
All right, that's a wrap.
Thank you, guys. Happy New Year.